confirmation. Everybody wanna know who making 18. What that depends on, whatever the date is. Got me a European poppy out of Italy. He ain't like the model, but he always let a picture me. Flying overseas and it's just their fees to the pick from the back just to give him a teeth. Keep a man in Texas, that's where the best is. Down south, daddy ain't cool, never stress. West Coast thing, I'm in love with his slang. Ooh, I love a thug, keep it hood in his bang. I got a man, but I'm fucking around, cause I'm young and I can't be tied down. But I'm fucking around, cause I'm young and I can't be tied down.
I'm in love with the slang. And keep it hood when we bang. Hi.
All right, it's Wednesday, y'all. Once again, the endless loop of being in a pandemic.
What an introduction. Oh, today is a very special Wine Wednesday.
A very special Wine Wednesday. Why?
Because we just swore in the next president.
Oh, why? It changes nothing, but
I mean, you know what? At least we don't have to look at that
very,
anymore,
very
you know?
true. Well, the past 4 years have been a traumatizing blur.
Oh yeah. I just saw in my memories today this meme of Obama turning the lights out in the White House. He's like, "You ready, Michelle?" And he turns the lights off in the White House and the lights on America just go out. And that's pretty much what it's been like. I've been in the dark for 4 years.
For the past few years. It's been tough. But anyway, here we are. We're back at it with another varietal. We haven't given you guys a varietal in a little minute. A lot of different accoutrements. Still praise word. But now we're back with a varietal, and it's a white wine that I actually love. I love her.
A white? This is
white.
a white?
So we have 2 Rieslings for you today. Riesling is a varietal that we're gonna walk y'all boys through. And they are both from out of town. One of them is from Austria. This is the German Riesling, 2019. And then you wanna show them the Austrian one that we got?
We have this beautiful label on this bottle, if it'll focus. Look how gorgeous that is. The front isn't all Austrian, so I'm not gonna even pretend.
Okay, so let's get right into her. So Riesling is a white grape varietal from the Rhine Valley region in Germany. It's actually a really aromatic varietal, has flowery scents, floral scents, you know the type. You know the type, with high acidity. So it's going to be one of those wines that's going to be higher in acid that you would expect to be kind of higher in sugar as well, but not from all of them. Some of them are off dry or dry. This one that we're having from Germany is pretty sweet to me.
We got started on this German one while we were getting ready, so this is almost gone, but what do we just write off the bat?
You know, when it first came out the fridge, it was very crisp and I was getting a lot of citrusy notes, and now that it's kind of come to room temp, opened up a little bit, it is super sweet.
I was getting green apple for sure when we opened it up. I'm still getting that a little bit on the back, like in the aftertaste. Right when you opened it up, but that aroma of apple has kind of left since then.
So Riesling is probably the 20th most grown grape varietal in the world, but it is the 3rd most important white grape varietal in the world after Sauv Blanc and Chardonnay. So it's pretty up there in being able to be planted and enjoyed by the public. Some of the time when you're talking about these white wine varietals, there's a lot less known white wine varietals in, people who aren't wine tasters or don't do it professionally. So it is nice to be able to have this Riesling that is enjoyed all over the world, because primarily it is grown in old world. So Germany, France, the oldies. So Riesling is considered terroir expressive, which means that it really takes on the different elements that are going on in the soil, in the air. If it's by an ocean, it really sort of inhabits those different flavors. So you'll be able to try that, when you try a different wine, you'll be able to see sort of where in the world it was planted and grown. The most expensive Riesling wine, though, is going to be a late harvest dessert wine, which is produced by letting the grapes get either noble rot, which is
Like just a kiss past right.
So it's called botrytis, and what actually happens is you kind of let it doesn't sound good, but trust me, it's delicious. So basically what happens is you allow the grapes to sort of chill out on the vine for longer than it's meant to. So you would normally pick in when would be for Germany, probably in
I like
it'd be
October.
the same, yeah, so October. So instead of picking it in October, they would
And that's late harvest. Oh, sorry.
Right.
So harvest usually starts in August, and then later is like October, November.
Yeah, so probably what they would be doing is waiting until December, January to pick, because what they're trying to do is allow some of the water from those grapes to evaporate to then concentrate the sugars more. And then what happens sometimes is that the grape gets noble rot. The reason it's called that is because they consider that to be really, 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 really good for the grapes, and it actually turns to make the wine more expensive. So these ice wines are going to have more sugar, more acidity, more flavor, and more complexity. So I highly recommend that you try an ice wine soon. It's delicious, it's nutritious, not really. Lots of sugar. But this kind of grape was discovered because I think he was French, maybe? A French prince who was also a winemaker, who was also a winemaker, actually forgot to let his people know when to pick the grapes. So because they were having a late picking, okay, it was all because of a man who forgot about his grapes.
Yeah, that's actually hilarious. He was like, oh shit, we gotta make wine.
So they just grabbed the grapes. They knew that they probably weren't workable, but they made wine anyway, just to see what it would be like. And they ended up liking it even more than their regular method of winemaking.
So Rieslings are very much affected by the climate that they are grown in. In cooler climates such as Germany, you will have Rieslings that are more apple, more tart. You'll get more of those apple flavors, higher levels of acidity. It has a higher acidity due to what? In cooler climate.
Yeah, so cooler climates, as the warm warms up the grape, it produces more sugar. So in cooler climates, it's not going to produce as much sugar. So she's going to end up
being
a little tart.
And this Riesling that we're drinking from is from Germany, so it was in a cooler climate. And I think that's where I was getting the apple from, and it is quite acidic.
Yeah.
It's quite for sure.
Yeah, even if you have a dry or an off-dry Riesling, and off-dry meaning a sweeter Riesling, it's still gonna have that acidity. And sweeter Rieslings are actually nice because you have that sweetness and acidity, and it's playful.
Whereas on the other side, when you have a hot climate like in Austria or the Alsace region in France, you're going to get a later ripening on your grapes, and you're going to develop more citrusy, more peachy flavors. And particularly Rieslings grown in Austria, you kind of get a hint of lime in the flavors. That would be interesting. I'm excited to open this up, see if we taste any lime.
Yeah.
So, you could actually age a Riesling for up to 100 years, which is quite impressive. And those aged Rieslings, specifically the German Rieslings, you're gonna get these petrol, kerosene sort of notes to it.
You know.
And this is like when we were talking about how leather might seem like an odd note to taste in a wine or to smell in a wine. This seems a little bit odd to, open up a wine and say, wow, that smells like gas. But it's a very sought after flavor in a lot of aged Rieslings. The problem that winemakers have when they're making, en masse, they try to avoid those flavors because when they're new, young wines, you don't want those flavors come from the aging. You don't want that in the actual process of making a new wine.
Awesome, so as mentioned, you have kind of two main categories of Riesling. You have the dry Rieslings, which is gonna give you that crisp, very acidic, light, limey, apple, pineapple-y kind of tasting notes. And remember, as we've said in past videos, you always wanna match the intensity of your wine to the intensity of your food. So really dry, crisp, fresh Rieslings, and Rieslings are known for their crispiness and acidity and freshness. You really want to pair them with lighter foods, so maybe a creamy pasta, some sushi. Love me some good sushi.
You always find a way to bring up sushi. I
So drier Rieslings are gonna be more refreshing. Pair them with some fish, some creamy pasta. You don't wanna do something really, really heavy because it's gonna completely overtake the acidity of the Riesling. They're not gonna complement each other well. However, if you want to do something heavy or spicy, think about an off-dry or sweeter Riesling. The sweetness and the acidity complement spicy foods really, really well, or even soft cheese, like, I don't know, because I eat sharp cheddar all the time. So, you know. Where a sweet Riesling, you want to do a softer cheese. A dry Riesling, you want to do something like goat cheese. You know, maybe something soft but still heavy that'll really complement that crispy.
Got me in the mood for goat cheese.
That'll really complement that. So I suggest that you guys shop around for some Rieslings. I really like the Riesling from Beringer. We would always have their cheese plate. Oh, that reminds me. Sweet Rieslings also do really well with dried fruit. Kind of brings out that already fruity floral taste in them. So yeah, soft cheese.
Yummy.
Or some spicy food.
Soft cheese and fruit.
Yes. Oh shit, that was a big pour. I'm just gonna even everyone out.
Shit.
This is doing the same thing that the other Riesling was doing that I was gonna call out. It's giving bubbles.
Yeah, I noticed that.
It was kind of carbonated.
Awesome.
You know. Yeah.
I love a little effervescence in my wine.
All right, cheers, y'all. These are some heavy pours.
Tip over. Cheers.
All right, on the nose. What is it? The tongue, the
Tip of the tongue, the tip of the lips. Woo!
Ooh.
Chile.
This is less fruity and floral than the other one.
Yeah.
I actually can't pick it up, but it's more like a darker smelling Riesling.
Yeah, so I'm getting more of the jammy fruits rather than the fresher fruits that were in the German one.
Riesling, yeah. The Villa Wolf.
Which is strange because we were just saying it should be the other way.
The other
but
way.
maybe once it has a second to open up.
Yeah.
I still smell green apple.
Listen, hold on to it. Hold on to that green apple.
Hold it tight.
Shall we give it a sip?
We shall.
I feel like this Austrian one is just as sweet as the German one. Or maybe it just
I
needs some
think
time.
this is a little sweeter, honestly.
I was gonna say it's less sweet to me than that one was when I first sipped.
Or what else do you all boys taste, actually?
I'm gonna go for another sip.
I'm tasting a lot of apple, a lot of pear, but again, more of the jamminess rather than the fruitiness. And I do think it needs time to open up a little bit. And the other wine I think was cooler when we first started drinking it. So, you know, we'll just give it a chance to balance out.
Yeah, and you actually want to drink your Rieslings fridge cold. Like you want to leave them in there about 50 degrees is where you want it to be at.
All right.
All right. Well, hopefully you guys took away some nuggets of knowledge about Riesling. I love this varietal.
I love this varietal. Love
Which one was your favorite?
I think the first one was my favorite. The one that was the German.
The German one.
I think the German one was my favorite only because, and maybe it's the sparkliness of this one right now that's just not.
Yeah, that's not doing it for me.
Yeah,
I
and maybe
really
once
like
we
it.
start eating, it'll work better for me, or maybe it needs to open up more and some of those bubbles will go away. But I think I like the first one more.
Yeah, and we're gonna have semi-spicy food, so these are actually sweeter Riesling, so it'll pair perfectly for what we're eating today. What are we eating today, Priya?
We are having some birria tacos. So that is going to be some beef shank that is marinated in adobo sauce for hours and hours and hours until it's fall off the bone. And then we marinate, and then we simmer down the sauce to be able to make this thick consomme to go along with your tacos. We dip in the taco, we stuff the taco with the meat, with some onions, with some tomatoes, etc., etc. And then we put it on the stove, and then you get to dip your little birria taco in some consomme.
That's
We
good.
know you've seen those videos.
Oh yes.
Wet.
We thought today's the day.
Today is the day.
Yes.
So GBD treats are going to be up. Our January menu is going to be up for another week. So make sure you get your order in. And then come February, we're going to have a whole new menu and some cute things for Valentine's Day.
Yes.
So make sure you get your order in. If you want to know what we're doing for Valentine's Day, just hit us up in the DMs. We'll let you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
And let us know what's your favorite white wine varietal. We already told you that we fucking hate Chardonnay, so don't ask me that. I obviously love Riesling. What's your fave? What are you up to? Yeah, let us know what wine you're drinking, or if you just drinking, baby. Cheers.